The lights have dimmed on the world's biggest stages, and the grueling tour schedules that defined Il Volo have officially collapsed. Can high-fashion savvy actually save three weary tenors from total obscurity? We're exploring how luxury brand synergy and sharp tailoring are replacing vocal stamina to resuscitate a fractured public image. This mystery sits at the center of one of the most dramatic shifts currently unfolding in the global entertainment industry. Because for more than a decade, the operatic pop trio known as Il Volo, featuring the unmistakable voices of Piero Barone, Ignazio Boschetto, and Gianluca Ginoble, built a reputation on soaring high notes, orchestral grandeur, and relentless international touring schedules that carried their music across continents. Yet behind the glamour of sold-out arenas, another reality was slowly emerging as years of demanding performances began to reveal the brutal physical toll of the global touring machine, and the fallout of the 2025 World Tour became the moment when everything changed, because what looked like a temporary pause in the trio's concert calendar quickly evolved into a broader conversation about the sustainability of their entire performance model. As reports of exhaustion, vocal strain, and logistical chaos surrounding the final stadium, dates began circulating through the entertainment press, while digital critics increasingly questioned whether the once unstoppable opera formula had grown repetitive within a rapidly evolving music landscape, where streaming algorithms and short-form viral content were reshaping audience expectations faster than traditional touring acts could adapt. And within that volatile media environment, the trio faced a choice that few artists ever confront so publicly: either attempt to defend their legacy through an exhausting return to the stage, or completely reinvent their identity beyond the boundaries of live performance. And that is where the radical rebrand begins, because instead of fighting critics with louder high notes, Il Volo appears to be answering the storm of scrutiny with a carefully orchestrated transformation into figures of high-fashion elegance, shifting the spotlight away from the unpredictable acoustics of stadium stages toward the meticulously controlled visual storytelling of the luxury fashion world, where symbolism, image, and cultural prestige carry immense influence. And in this environment, a perfectly tailored silhouette or a striking editorial photograph can command just as much global attention as a chart-topping single, and sometimes even more, because visual culture travels faster than sound across the digital landscape. And this is precisely where the trio's sartorial pivot begins to function as a powerful reputation shield, as stylists, photographers, and creative directors collaborate to reshape the public perception of the group, presenting Piero Barone, Ignazio Boschetto, and Gianluca Ginoble not only as vocalists, but as embodiments of refined Italian sophistication, whose presence within luxury editorial campaigns signals a new chapter defined less by vocal stamina and more by visual authority. And this transformation becomes particularly evident in the trio's emerging connections with the elite fashion circles of Milan, where collaborations with renowned design houses such as Giorgio Armani and Dolce & Gabbana introduce them to an entirely different audience, one that values timeless tailoring, artistic photography, and cultural symbolism as expressions of prestige. And when a carefully styled photograph circulates through international magazines and social media platforms, it generates a wave of attention that reaches far beyond the traditional boundaries of the music industry, effectively repositioning the trio within a broader ecosystem of lifestyle influence, luxury branding, and artistic storytelling. And this shift reveals another surprising economic dimension of the transformation, because the revenue structures of the fashion industry operate very differently from those of touring musicians, where concerts require enormous logistical investments, including travel stage production, technical crews, venue rentals, and constant physical exertion, whereas luxury ambassador contracts can produce comparable financial returns through far fewer appearances, allowing artists to maintain visibility while preserving energy, creative control, and long-term sustainability. And as analysts examine this transition, a fascinating phenomenon emerges, sometimes referred to as the silent tenor effect, in which the trio's carefully curated presence in couture campaigns generates social engagement numbers that rival or even surpass the digital reach of their music releases, suggesting that audiences may increasingly consume the group as cultural symbols rather than purely as performers. And this evolution raises an intriguing psychological question about modern fandom, because when admirers encounter the trio through editorial imagery, fashion collaborations, and cinematic short films, they experience the artists not simply as entertainers delivering songs, but as living artworks representing a particular vision of elegance, heritage, and European artistry. And within this framework, the microphone becomes only one of many storytelling tools, while wardrobe design, photography, and visual narrative contribute equally to shaping the group's identity and influence. And perhaps the most strategic aspect of this pivot lies in its ability to bypass traditional music criticism altogether, because while live concerts and album releases invite direct technical evaluation of vocal performance, fashion imagery communicates through aesthetic emotion rather than measurable musical metrics, creating what some industry observers describe as a form of aesthetic armor that shields artists from the relentless scrutiny often applied to aging touring acts. And instead of debating pitch accuracy or repertoire originality, critics are confronted with a visual narrative that celebrates style, craftsmanship, and timeless design elements, making it far more difficult to frame the trio's evolution as a failure, when the surrounding imagery conveys prestige and confidence. And this strategy becomes especially visible during high-profile appearances at international events such as Paris Fashion Week, where the trio's presence among global designers, models, and cultural tastemakers signals a deliberate repositioning within elite creative circles, allowing them to reclaim visibility without relying on the unpredictable success of a new single or album cycle. And as cameras flash and editorial headlines circulate across fashion publications, the narrative surrounding Il Volo begins to shift from speculation about touring fatigue toward fascination with their aesthetic reinvention, proving that cultural relevance can be preserved through strategic storytelling even when the stage lights temporarily fade. And this transformation ultimately points toward a broader blueprint for the post-performance era of celebrity influence, where artists who once defined themselves through constant touring may increasingly embrace diversified identities spanning fashion, film, digital media, and luxury branding, creating hybrid careers that blend artistic heritage with lifestyle symbolism. And for Piero Barone, Ignazio Boschetto, and Gianluca Ginoble, this approach could provide a path toward longevity that extends far beyond the physical limitations of relentless world tours, transforming the trio into ambassadors of Italian cultural elegance rather than simply performers navigating an exhausting concert schedule. And whether this bold reinvention ultimately becomes a permanent sanctuary from the pressures of the music industry remains one of the most compelling questions surrounding their future. Yet one truth is already clear. The story of Il Volo is no longer just about voices echoing across arenas, but about how creativity, resilience, and reinvention can redefine an artist's legacy in ways few could have predicted. And if you love the music, the journey and the evolution of Il Volo, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now, because if you love Il Volo music, you won't want to miss the next documentary, exploring the hidden strategies, controversies, and cultural transformations shaping the global legacy of Piero Barone, Ignazio Boschetto, and Gianluca Ginoble. YouTube description: has Il Volo's touring era come to an end? After years of dominating international stages, the operatic pop trio Il Volo, featuring Piero Barone, Ignazio Boschetto, and Gianluca Ginoble, is facing one of the most dramatic transformations of their career. In this celebrity documentary, we explore how the group may be pivoting from global touring performers into luxury fashion icons and cultural ambassadors. From the fallout of the 2025 World Tour to appearances at major fashion events, this video investigates how visual storytelling, luxury branding, and aesthetic reinvention could reshape the trio's legacy in the modern entertainment industry.